The 6Fattie range is new for model year 16. So for Specialized, we have hardtails, we have full suspension bikes as well. And really what we're talking about is a 650B wheel size with a plus size tyre. And in our case, we use a 3-inch tyre. And the 3-inch tyre on top of the 650 wheel gives us a larger overall diameter. So we have a great rollover capability. So it's all-round trail use is where the bikes are designed for, whether it's the hardtail or the full suspension. And the larger volume tyres, we can run them at lower pressures. So they will roll over those bumps, soak things up better, as well as the larger diameter, meaning you keep a lot of momentum going on. So the full suspension bikes are part of our Rime for the ladies category, or the stump jumper for the gents category. So they're not a separate name on their own, but they are a 6Fattie version of. Still trail bikes, of course, with the travel adjusted specifically to take into account the larger volume tyres, and then of course the tuning of the suspension. The hardtails, on the other hand, are their own category. So we have Ruse on the lady side of things, which is 100mm travel on the front end with a hardtail, and then 120mm travel on the Fuse, which is the gents bike. They all have plus size spacing. So one thing that's unique with the plus size bikes is the rear end, to take into account that larger wheel size, or larger tyre size I should say, has a larger axle, it's wider, and then likewise on the front as well. So they're boosted rear end and they're boosted front end, and that's the sort of terminology for it. As a result of the boosted rear end, we use a single ring on the front to account for chain line. You can't run a front derailleur on a 6Fattie bike. But you shouldn't need any more gear spread than what we already apply with the 1x systems from SRAM and further into the range with other models as well. So the 6Fattie wheel size in relation to our absence of a £1,000 to £2,000 hardtail is such that it's taken on a new life of its own. That trail category is really where we see that price point going. So instead of it just being a good, better, best scenario of cross-country bikes with spec, with suspension and what have you, it's going into a slightly different dimension. The experience is taking a turn to the trail, shall we say. So certainly this wheel size, in terms of fun, in terms of performance though as well, is really where 6Fattie is at, which is a contrast to a fat boy or a fat bike from another brand. Those products, whilst are a lot of fun, inherently are a bit slower, a bit heavier, whereas the 6Fattie, it's definitely not a slimmed down version of a fat bike, it's much more of a pumped up version of a traditional mountain bike. So it has all the performance of a normal mountain bike. It's not going to be as sluggish as a fat boy, but it's going to have some of those fun characteristics that a fat bike provides.